Well, greetings from the apocalypse. I'm here today to talk about dividers. So I've used Starrett dividers for many years, and I've always been pretty happy with them. Although I have to say that I feel like the manufacturing standards have gone down a little bit. So I usually get like a welcome pair of dividers for any time we get a new apprentice. And so normally what I usually do is go on eBay and get like an old version because they're a little better made. So Starrett is a good brand, you know, they'll do the job nicely, but Tevel said, oh, I have these new dividers that just came out and they're made in the USA and they're really, really nice. Like, I'm going to send you a pair and tell me what you think. So he did. And I'm actually a little bit in love with these dividers. So they are made of steel. The body is made of steel. They're 3 inches, which is small because, you know, they make really big dividers. And I mean, if you're like a carpenter and you're like, I don't know, laying out some shit for a door or something, yes, you need great big dividers. For a jeweler, you need a little pair of dividers. You don't want a big, I mean, you can use a big pair if you want, but I just find it sort of like clumsy and clunky and stuff like that. So I do like a small size, and these are 3 inches. So the body is steel, but the tips are tungsten carbide. Now, what's tungsten carbide? Tungsten carbide is a metal, and it's much denser and harder than steel. It can last up to 100 times longer actually than steel can, and steel's pretty tough. So it has these special inserted tips that are tungsten carbide. So what does that mean? What that means is these have been shaped very, very sharp and fine. They're flat on the inside, so they're really easy to like lay out and run next to things. You know, like when you're laying out a bezel strip and stuff like that, and you take your dividers and you run it. These are very unlikely to slide around on you because they have that beautiful flat edge on the inside. So the tungsten carbide tips means that this pair of dividers will probably last me easily for the rest of my life, and then somebody else can have them. It means they'll really hold up. Now, generally speaking, the most expensive tools are not always the best, but with hand tools, generally a little more expensive hand tool is better because it's going to be made of better quality, better materials, blah, blah, blah. Now, as we all know, that isn't always true. But I think we have an introductory price of $69 for these, which is really pretty good. And you'll have these dividers like forever. You are not going to wear out these tips. Like I challenge you actually to try to wear them out. So I really like these a lot. The thing that, after all the things that I've said that I like about it, really the truth is in the end, it's about this right here. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you have sort of a, you know, a cheap pair of dividers and you're trying to open them, you're like, you know, like they're really stiff and they're just a pain in the ass to work with. These, you see this? It's like the wheel just glides open and closed, like la, 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 really easy to manage. And because this is all really like precision aligned and everything, you can close this down to 0.5 millimeters, which like if you're measuring things 0.5 millimeters, this will do it. And if you're not, you could. And you have the knowledge that you could. And that's sometimes what's important. So I really, really like these, and they're really easy to use. I have to say I think I'm gonna retire my Starretts. Like I said, they're nice dividers, but I'm gonna go with these. And I'm not gonna lie to you also, I love a tool that is beautiful, you know, because I mean, I look at my tools all day long. It's not so much that they need to be like fabulously gorgeous, but looking at a truly ugly, clunky looking thing is, I mean, let's be honest, if we weren't a little OCD, we wouldn't make jewelry. So on top of it all, these are just, they feel good in the hand. They're beautiful. They got little brass accents, and I really like these a lot. So if the time has come for you to upgrade to like a nice pair of dividers that you'll have pretty much the rest of your life, I would say go with these. You really won't be sorry, because I'm going to be using these from now on. They're quite lovely. And I'll do a little close up too so you can see them a little better. I know holding it up here is, you know, mainly you just see me. So I'll move to the close up. So just to start out, here's the close-up view of the dividers. You can see how nice and fine those tips are. These are really lovely, I have to say. I'm kind of in love with these. Tevel sent these to me, and I think I made a high-pitched squealing noise for about 5 minutes when I unpacked them. So that's always a good sign for me. Dividers, you can see 3 inches, they're quite small. And you can see how fine the tips are and how beautifully they come together. It's really, really nice. I love the little brass accents. You know, I'm a sucker for something that looks beautiful as well as works beautifully. And here's what I mean about how they open. You see this? They open, they close. It takes like no pressure. They're really easy to operate. And you can get the tips like all the way together, truly aligned, which you'll notice if you have kind of an icky pair of dividers, they don't really do that. So by getting these really close together, you can measure all the way down to practically 0, which is more than you'll ever want, I would assume. But I really like these a lot, and I'm going to be using these from now on. So I have to say, they're my recommendation.